You have had companies reduce clinical trial cost by, let's say, up to 25%. Which honestly is amazing, right? For for trials that brings in so high numbers of investment, 25% is a big number. So let's demystify this, right? Where does that waste actually live? Like, does that waste, let's call it 25% waste. So does that live in people, process, decisions made too late? So
all of the above.
Okay.
Yeah, the short answer is all of the above. And I think there's one thing that I'd highlight here that's really, really important. When you scope your trial, when you go down the road of selecting vendors, CROs, partners that are going to support you during that trial, it's taking the time that you really need to evaluate those vendors, taking the time you really need to compare those vendors against each other and find the right partner, and then really diving in to the budget and contract. You need to understand what those documents say. There's a lot in there that can be repetitive, that can be unnecessary, that could be duplicative of what maybe your internal team can do. So I really encourage sponsors, whether that's full-time, fractional, or even a limited engagement, to bring on a senior level operator that can help dissect how to choose the right partner, how to structure a contract with the right partner, and the downstream impacts from that. So another piece, a standard CRO budget, you're paying the CRO as long as they're working for you. So if we want to talk economics, what motivation does that CRO have to bring in your trial early? Is there any? What if I build into that contract milestone payments if they achieve those milestones on time? What if I build in penalties if they don't? What if, another classic example is, I'm a small biotech. They're going to give me this amazing team during a bid defense. It's a bait and switch. They're going to take that team off. What if I tell them that I won't hire them unless I get Joe, Bob, and Sue? And I want Joe, Bob, and Sue on my contract, on my team, named to my program for the duration of the trial. Now, if Joe, Bob, and Sue go and get other jobs, I can't control what they're going to do. But what variables in that contract can I control? A lot. And the problem with these CRO contracts is when you're evaluating them, they all have their own format. It's not apples to apples. Now, there are some really interesting tech tools that are coming out to help streamline this process. I will hint at that. I've been, speaking with some of these folks, and this is a really interesting direction to go in that's going to help feed through the noise. But ultimately, what you do is you take all of that, you try to standardize it into a spreadsheet, and then you go back and forth with those CROs and try to determine who's the right fit. It's not just the name, it's geography. Do you have people where I need them to be? Depending on the size of the trial, this may not be US or one country. It could be 12, it could be 20, it could be 50 countries. Do you have the regional expertise that I need, the regulatory expertise that I need? Maybe I don't have internal biostats or programming or data management. Do you have competent people in those areas to augment my team? Ultimately, it's getting to a contract that's fit for purpose. And it's making sure that contract is not bloated with a whole bunch of things that are not necessary. So it's not so much, I'll cut your budget by this percentage. It's, let me think about what you really need. Let's build a smart, data-driven, deliverable outcome-related budget.
Top 3 things I do to sort of educate someone or motivate someone to remove that friction.
So the first thing is you have to convince them that what they're doing is working in a compliant system, regulatory, really looking at patient safety, patient privacy, et cetera. That's a big piece of it. And number 2, You have to take work away. You're using tech to replace something, not add to it. So for example, I am not a medical practitioner, so I want to be careful, that I don't overprescribe here. But if I'm asking a doctor to see a patient, log a visit, make a note, log that into an AI component, I'm adding to their workflow, and then I'm taking away time from what they might be spending with a patient. If you take that back to biotech, same thing. You go to a CEO and you say, I have this amazing tool. It's going to make your life so much easier. ClinOps is going to love it. The CEO is going to say, I have a very limited budget. Why do I need another vendor? I have a team. I have a CRO. I'm not sure what this does for me. And I'm having to now invest additional capital in it. So from that perspective, what you have to do is you have to show them that there's real ROI in investing in a tool. This is how using this will save your team time, save your trial cost, reduce your human capital, the burden on your team, your human capital. It'll make their lives easier. It'll make your trial cheaper. It'll make your timelines easier to hold. You have to speak in language that they're going to understand.
Where does AI genuinely help these clinical operations today? And where do you think it is still mostly at?
Does it save me time? Does it save me money? So if my trial is shorter, it's going to save me time. It's going to save me money. Those are the big drivers of this. So it may cost me more upfront, but if it is going to make me more efficient, if it is going to make me able to see my data or my metrics in real time, if it's going to remove friction from my team and make their jobs easier, those are things I'm going to look at. But again, it's not just throwing AI at the problem. What's the tool? Who uses it? How is it compliant with current regulations? I'm interested in trying some of these AI tools, but it's not a situation where I'm going to go, work with a biotech and I'm going to recommend 10 AI tools. I might recommend 1 or 2 that are really specific for that program, that use case, that therapy area, the size of the trial. I might look to the CRO to see what they're using, because that might be something native to them that they're used to using.
Right.
I'm looking for ways to increase visibility, reduce friction, and reduce burden on internal teams. And that's site CRO sponsored. I want to make the team's jobs easier. I also want to make transparency at the executive level easier.
Right.
So that's going to build confidence from the executive team in the tool, in the program, in the team. It's going to build confidence with the board, with investors, etc. But a lot of what you need proof of concepts. You need use cases. This is what my tool did in order to help this team. And you need to be able to speak to these teams in a way that translates, because ultimately your head of clinical operations may not be the decision maker to bring that tool on. They're still going to have to go to the CFO and say, I need more budget for this. And the CFO is still going to say, we don't have budget for that. You got to sell them on why more budget up front will relate to less budget on the back end.